Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from Bookworm Dreams, and welcome to a new video.
So, this is the final video in our series of the Throne of Glass reviews, and today we're gonna be reviewing the final book, and that is Kingdom of Ash, obviously by Sarah J Maas. If you don't know by now, that is it, and this is the only time you will see it, like,
it's
up there.
Humongous.
It's humongous, so we're not gonna
hold it up the entire time.
No. So, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers because it's the final book in the series. You know the drill. There have been spoilers throughout the reviews. So, this book is packing a lot.
Yes.
Basically, all of the books have been building to this just like one giant book that is, as you said, at one point just like one giant battle.
Yes.
Like each chapter is in itself like a mini battle or a mini preparation for the final battle, and like there's actually a lot of battles in this one. Like a lot of like just small things that lead to like the final what is it called? Conflict. So basically we follow Aileen, as if you've read the live book, you know, as she is in the fucking iron box and Maeve is torturing her and Fenris is forced to watch as she does so. Then we follow Rowan and like the rest of the gang, like who was it? Lorcan
and Gabriel
and Elide, who are kind of searching for
Aileen,
and then we follow also Adian as he kind of, you know,
trying to keep everything together.
Yes, while Lysandra is pretending to be Aileen, and like, and all this shit is happening while they're like just trying to keep the ropes together and not let everything fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then we follow Manon as she is trying to kind of not reclaim but claim her right to be the Kraken queen and find the Kraken witches. So there's like that whole plot line. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what else is there. Oh right, Kaol is coming back
with an army,
with Irene, with an army from the south, and like basically everything comes together in this one book.
Yes,
everything.
It's a lot to follow, but each chapter just sort of ends on a sort of cliffhanger-y. So basically this was the most stressed I ever was reading a book, and there was a moment, because I read it in like 3 days. It's like 900 pages, and there's a moment in which, so since Aileen has been kidnapped by Maeve, Lysandra, who is a shapeshifter, basically takes her place, and she has to make sure that the Terrace Court and everyone knows that like Aileen is there and whatever. And there was a point where they figure out that Lysandra, that there was threat of them figuring out that Aileen is not real, that Lysandra is playing Aileen, and I literally closed the book and put it aside because I couldn't, like, no, I couldn't deal with it because I was so stressed, like, no, just, I left it alone for an hour, then I came back to read because I was like, oh my god, everything's going to fall apart, because at that point Lysandra and Aiden, they're like a couple.
Are they already?
No, but they're going towards being a couple.
Because there was like
their relationship basically
there was like, and Alien was basically being a fucking jerk.
Yes, the entire time, and I was like, no, I don't want to like see my favorite couple like sort of fall apart, and I was like, I'm leaving it.
I love them.
Yes, they're awesome. But yeah, very stressful, and
I definitely agree with Maya. Like this is definitely the book. Like of course I like love the third book. I like the fifth book. I like the books in between, like the first and second one were like, we don't talk about those, but the rest were like really good. But this was like, I had the feeling that this was the first book where I genuinely didn't want to put the book down. Like with all the rest, it was interesting. I loved it, but like I was okay with just, you know, letting it rest for a bit and like continuing later. But this was just like, because I read it on audio, so I usually read it while walking or like cleaning and stuff like that. I like literally went to clean so I could read it. Like literally interested in what happens like in the next chapter, that I literally I just forwent everything that I usually use the audiobooks for, and I was like, okay, I'll listen to it everywhere. Like I was cooking and I would just put it like for 5 minutes, 10 minutes while I'm cooking, but just like let's just continue on. Like it was so like engaging, the most engaged I've been like to finish the book. So definitely understand.
I literally had so I tried to finish this before I went on vacation.
Oh right.
And I literally had an hour and 15 minutes left on the audiobook while I was driving to my sister's house and like to stay there to get ready, and then the next day we would be leaving. So I'm driving and I'm like trying to listen to this thing, finish it before we go on to vacation, because I didn't want to carry this giant book with me there. I'm like, basically I finished it at my sister's place. Basically she's working on her computer. I'm like on the couch like, okay, just let me I have 5 minutes till the end. Just give me 5 minutes and then we can like it was yes, as you said, I was so engaged, I was so into it. I was so, I don't know, I don't think, do I even finish series? So I think it's like the first time I finished an actual fantasy series that I was so invested that I was like, oh my god. And yeah, so a lot of stuff happens. Also, Dorian levels up with his magic.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about Dorian, yeah.
And, he basically spends the entire book trying to figure out whether he is human or not. Because in the 5th book, we find out that his father was actually taken over by one of those demons, Val demons. And he wasn't sure whether he is human or not. So throughout the book, he's,
questioning his humanity,
but he's also, his character from the 1st book to this one definitely goes through a change. And in this one he's very much more morally gray, which then helps him when he wants to hang out with Manon, which we are all very, very supportive of. Yes. Also
I love their relationship.
Yeah, they're very cool, and their ending. I like how their ending was sort of open-ended.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that like it wasn't like like Aileen and Rowan when it was like they're together.
Yes, their
like,
end game right there.
Their end, yeah, and Manon and Dorian were like, we obviously like each other. Like, okay, this is a thing, this is gonna happen, but it's like, but we're still 2 people and we have stuff to do on our own. So this is cool and we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do it like on our terms, and like we're still gonna have our lives, and this is gonna be a fun thing that kind of adds to our lives. And I love that. That was so like, I was like, yes, this is so good, and it fits their characters actually like perfectly, even in the sense they both have basically kingly and queenly duties to their own people. So like it's not like they can one can go to the other and be like, oh, I'll just forget about the Crocus, I'll just forget about my kingdom and I'll just be like here. Like I loved what she did with them.
Yes.
I absolutely loved it.
Yes. Also, so we have also Lorcan in the lead. That was an interesting one to follow because there's a moment so basically the 2 main bad guys in this story are Maeve and Erewhon. So both of them, as you find out by reading this book and learning about the world and mythology, basically come from a different world, and they came to this one because Maeve was sort of sick and tired of her husband, who basically kept leaving her because he went on to like conquer other worlds, and so she came to this world and basically was followed by Erewhon and his buddies who end up dead, but whatever. Basically, they inflict so much pain and so much trouble for our main characters that there's a point in which Maeve has all the cadre basically suffering. They're like in the bleak place. Revisiting their like worst nightmares and so on. And in which like when Lorcan was like, his nightmare was him fighting with Elide and her telling him that he's like awful and stuff. He is, but and basically really that sort of that point when he says like, I think you're my mate, I'm like, oh my god, no.
Okay, I have an interesting question. I don't know, I got the feeling from this book, like I don't know why, I got the feeling that like to some point you could say that Maeve was actually a victim of the world where she comes from.
Okay.
like, because I don't know, maybe I was reading too fast, maybe I was like so in it that I misinterpreted stuff.
Mhm.
But like I felt like she was really being mistreated by her husband.
She was being ignored by her husband, and she, as I understood it, she has a very large. She wants to learn things, and she wants to know things, and in her learning and sort of discovery of her powers, and she discovers the magic and the way to travel between worlds, and basically, I think her biggest problem was that she was sort of too different from her husband, too smart.
But like, I mean, she's evil. Like, I'm not saying that she is genuinely evil. Like the shit she does.
Yeah.
Like to everyone.
All of them are evil.
They're.
But she's like smarter.
Yeah, but like like the rest, like I feel like that her like this whole learning stuff and visiting new worlds, she didn't have like, okay, I discovered this and I'm gonna go and conquer something. She even says that she doesn't want to conquer the world that she's in. She's just hiding there. She just wants to like have a place where she can be herself, although she's evil. So like, no, she's still the bad guy. But like, you know, I feel like Erewhon and his brothers had really like a bad agenda. And
yeah, well, their agenda was to basically to capture her and bring her back because she left. Yeah. But when they got here and got stuck there, they were like, okay, let's conquer this and stuff.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, I felt like at times she was being like a bit like not as an excuse, but like just, I guess she got like a new dimension for me.
Yeah. In
the sense that I could understand better
the like, reasoning for what she
and her evilness.
Okay.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also with her and Erewhon, so they are the main conflict, and I like how Dorian at one point gets to interact with Maeve, and how basically he screws her. It's amazing. It's really fun.
What he did.
But I didn't like how Erewhon, who was like this big bad guy that we've learned about in like book 3 or 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
He was dealt with kind of quickly. Basically, the whole point of their entire mission was to get to make a gate to get to the kings, whatever, to the gods and whatnot, to these magical, powerful creatures, so they can kill Erewhon and Maeve. And then stuff happens, and then they don't do that. They basically say, "Fuck you, we're going home," and they leave. And the way they deal with Erewhon was sort of basically having Irene to heal the demon from inside, I guess, and then destroy everything. And that was kind of like, I mean, it was cool because all the females got together and did the thing. But it's kind of like, but, you made him up to be this, like, Sauron level villain, and just to have him, sort of end so, I don't want to say easily, but, it was kind of like, okay.
But, like, I also like how everybody got a chance to participate somehow in like actually achieving the victory. Like it wasn't okay, they were waiting for Aelin and she did like a lot of good, like wow shit stuff, like crazy, but in the end, like Irene had a big role, Dorian had a big role. Like if they didn't do and couldn't do what they did, it couldn't end that way. And I loved how it wasn't, the single savior. I almost felt like, each of them was
contributed to the whole.
It was, each of them was a savior in a different sense.
Yes.
And like I really like that. And as I'm saying that, like there were 2 moments in the book and the end in the final battle where I almost cried. I was literally like the tears were here, like verge of tears. Like I couldn't.
Oh, I cried a lot. I'm not sure.
No, it's not like maybe I wasn't as invested as you.
I was very invested in the relationship. So when the relationship went bad and when stuff was happening, I was like, no. And the battle stuff.
No, I just when the scene with Gabriel, like his sacrifice was just like, oh my god, it broke my heart. And the 13, like literally, I remember listening to that and it finished. And I was like, no, rewind. What just happened?
Yeah.
I literally, I couldn't believe that she wrote that. Like, I couldn't believe that happened. I was like, okay, let's rewind and repeat that. Did this really? And I was like, oh my god, no. And the final scene when the flower grows out of it, oh,
I
it
also
was just,
yeah.
it was so heartfelt. Like those two, it was like heartbreaking and heartfelt, and
Yes.
yeah.
I also like that how they did achieve their victory with their powers, but their powers wasn't like the main thing that achieved the victory.
Yeah.
Like the whole point, throughout the book, you keep hearing how awesome Aelin is and how awesome her power is and how she's like, you know, the best. But when she comes to the final battle, she doesn't have any fucking power. Basically, she has like embers of her power, and it doesn't, you know, she doesn't use the whole thing to, you know, like kill everyone or anything. And I like that because it's really cool, sort of to show that everyone, you know, the women were very capable without their powers as well. Yes. She's an assassin, and you know, Irene is a healer, and you know, how Lysandra being like, you know, who she is and using her abilities to just manipulate everyone and everyone. Yeah. It's just, I like it how it wasn't like, you know, people would be able to dismiss their victory because, you know, and not dismiss the victory, but dismiss the capability of the female characters because, oh well, they had power, so, you know, do this and everybody dies. Yeah. But yeah, I like it how at the end, basically, it wasn't all about the power, it was about their capabilities and everything. And
if we talk about the series in general,
yeah,
like to kind of wrap this up,
whole thing. It's very female-centric.
It's very female-centric.
Which is great.
I think we even mentioned in one of the videos that is the females, they get the most jobs done or prepare the groundwork for somebody else to kind of finish it. But it's the females that are actually, you know, like with, you know, strands in their hands and like manipulating stuff and doing stuff. And they're very capable at it and efficient and smart about it. And it's just really just like a galore of brilliant female characters, definitely.
Yes. I also like the whole series. I know Sarah J Maas gets like a bad rap for, you know, her writing and for like her work, but this series starts as an YA series and definitely the first book is definitely a product of its time. Yeah. But as the series goes along, this is an adult fantasy.
Yeah,
this is like the later books are total adult fantasy, and there's so much in this book and this series that can, you know, fit a lot of interest. So because you have like romance, you have political intrigue, you have, you know, small battles, giant battles, assassins, witches, mythology, legends, you have like maneuvering, pirates, you have this fantasy air force. I mean, like, you have fairies, you have the whole conflict between, you know, the old guard and the young people that comes sort of in play in the later books. And it's just, there's a lot of things happening in this book. And definitely, I would recommend this series to people who enjoy fantasy, because if you survive the first two books, then you're golden till the end. And
that is true.
Yeah, so definitely, I'm so glad I finally finished this series. And yeah, definitely check out all the other reviews that we did for this series. We will make a playlist and leave the link somewhere, everywhere.
It will be somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's it. Please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos. There are important links down below in the description box. There will be also links to the books, to our playlist, everything that we have mentioned. If we have mentioned something, it will be down there. Thank you so much for watching.
And we will see you in our next video. Bye.